Buy or Sell is back. I went onto Twitter and asked you guys to give me your hottest takes for the Major League Baseball season. We're about 2 months in. There's a lot more that's happened since the last one. Let's see what you guys had to say. Remember, if you want to get involved with these on my channel, make sure you're following me on Twitter or subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I think one of the next Buy or Sells is going to be from the YouTube community section. So make sure you're following and subscribe to both. But first, I want to give a quick shout to today's sponsor, Built Rewards. PSA for anyone who rents. If you haven't heard about Built, you're about to thank me. Earning points on rent is now a reality when you pay your rent through Built. Built is a loyalty program that lets you earn points on rent and redeem them towards flights, hotel stays, fitness classes, and even your next rent payment. Let me break it down for you. So first and foremost, there's no cost to join Built. And when you pay your rent through Built, you'll earn valuable points on rent and on your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and some that you haven't even heard of. There are over 500 airlines, 700,000 hotels, and properties around the world that you can redeem your Built points towards. Points can also be redeemed towards future rent payments, as well as unique experiences that only Built members can access. They've been consistently ranked the highest value point currency by the Points Guy and Bankrate. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, what are you waiting for? So start earning points right now when you sign up through the link in my description or the QR code on screen. And make sure to use my URL so they know that I sent you. Thank you to Built Rewards for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it. Okay, this first one comes in from Rami Lavi. He says the Tigers win the AL pennant. I honestly love this take. I think the Tigers are not just one of the best teams in the American League. I think they're one of the best teams in all of Major League Baseball. Their pitching is phenomenal. Their hitting is way better than we expected. When you have Javier Baez playing center field with an 800 OPS, it's pretty hard to be a bad team. Things are going right. And that's always been a take that I've had, and I think a lot of people have had about Javier Baez. Once the Tigers truly start being a winning team, I always thought it would wake him back up and get him to being a capable player, because he's way too talented to be as bad as he has. Spencer Torkelson looks amazing. Riley Green looks fantastic. Kerry Carpenter, aka Kerry Bonds, obviously is a beast at the plate. Even guys like Zach McKinstry, Colt Keith, Dylan Dingler, they're stepping up and helping out, along with Gleyber Torres, who is a great free agent acquisition. The bullpen's cash money. Will Vest has been incredible. Tommy Kahnle has been awesome. And Tarek Skubal is the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. I'm totally buying this take. I think the Tigers are the best team in the American League right now. If I was a betting man, I would say that they're going to win the American League pennant. So yes, I'm buying this take. Okay, this one comes in from Monty Tweets the O's. Mike Elias shouldn't be fired. Yeah, I think this one is an obvious sell. And listen, I get it. You're an Orioles fan. I'm sure you knew it was a hot take. Unless the ownership physically told him he can spend $0, he can't go out and make any moves this past offseason. This was a monumental failure as a GM. Like, this is a black smear on his entire resume as a front office guy. Mike Elias was an integral part of rebuilding the Astros and making them into the beast that they were during their dynasty years. And it looked like he was doing the same with the Orioles, except he did not go out and get any help. They got worse this offseason. They missed out on Corbin Burns. I know Anthony Santander hasn't played well, but they lost him. Tyler O'Neill was like their one big splash. He's having a horrible season. The swing doesn't really fit that park like it did Fenway. They fired Brendan Hyde. The players weren't particularly happy about it. And of course, the players also aren't playing well. Adley Rutschman's having a horrible year. Ryan Mountcastle's been terrible. Tyler O'Neill didn't work out. They've had injuries, and the pitching has been putrid. Outside of Tomoyuki Sugano, everybody's basically got an ERA 5 or higher. So there are things that are going wrong that aren't Mike Elias' fault, but where he had the ability to take control and make sure that this didn't happen was the acquisition of players this offseason, making moves, all the stuff that a GM should do, and he did none of it. Instead, he was too busy tweeting from his MLB executive burner account, trying to convince himself that all the decisions he made were good. So yes, I'm selling this take. Mike Elias should be fired. He shouldn't make it to the All-Star break. The Orioles are going to be one of the worst teams in baseball this year. I don't know how they turn it around. That pitching is so putridly bad. This is a catastrophe. And there's only one man responsible, and it's Mike Elias. I legitimately am planning on making a video in the next week or so about why the Orioles suck so bad. The Gotham Chronicle says, Cardinals make the playoffs. Oh my God. This is making me look in the mirror and confront my Cardinals bias because I hate that team so much. And at my core, I still don't believe this is a good team. Now, I will say this. They're playing really good baseball. They played really well against the Mets earlier in the year when they went up against them. And one thing that you always expect from Cardinals baseball teams that they're doing this year in particular is playing fantastic defense. Huge fan of Ivan Ron Herrera. I think he's one of the best catchers in baseball. Brendan Donovan is a criminally underrated player in the league. He's having a fantastic season, and he's just really good. And even Mason Wynn has been a pleasant surprise at the plate this year, an OPS plus over 120. I don't know how sticky all the numbers are on some of these guys, and I will say this, I still don't trust this offense. It still feels very weak to me. But my issue always with the Cardinals was their pitching. I did not think they had the pitching to be a winning baseball team this season. But the bullpen's been shockingly good despite what I thought was going to be one of the worst bullpens in baseball on paper. And the starting pitching's been acceptable. It's been very much good enough. Matthew Liberatore took a major step forward. That's been a huge deal for them, especially in a year where Eric Fedde and Sonny Gray haven't been as sharp as they were last season. At the time of recording this video, the Cardinals are currently the third wildcard team. The Giants are 1 game back. The Brewers are 3.5 games back. I'm still going to stick with my take from the beginning of the year and sell. They are much more a contender than I ever thought, and if they go out and make moves at the deadline to make this team better, yes, obviously they are more likely to be a playoff team. But the current construction of this roster and the other teams that are kind of creeping up behind them, I still don't think the Cardinals are a playoff team at this exact moment, so I am going to have to sell. But they're way better than I thought. I just think they need a little bit more to actually solidify themselves as a playoff team right now. All right, Big Meat Pete says no division winners from last year will repeat. I mean, this feels like a pretty easy sell. Big reason being the Yankees are winning the American League East. I don't see anybody catching them right now. They're just so much better than all those other teams, especially with the Red Sox scuffling. Tigers are going to be a new team that wins the AL Central. The Mariners are going to be a new team that wins the AL West. Phillies did win the NL East last year. That's still up for debate with those 3 teams. I still very much think the Braves are closer than people think. Cubs are a new team. Dodgers are winning the NL West. So yeah, I don't buy this one at all. It was a hot take though. Good try, but no. Josh Sharf says Zack Neto is the most underrated player in baseball and is in the 5 to 7 range for best shortstops in the game. Ooh. Wow, I kind of really like this take a lot. I've always kind of been a big Zack Neto fan. I used to have a college baseball podcast back in the day. Shout out people who listen to Rally Caps. And Zack Neto was one of the first players we ever really did a huge spotlight on that podcast when he was out at Campbell. He was a fascinating player in college. He's been really good at the major league level. He's been phenomenal for the Angels. If there's one thing that the Angels have done right, and Perry Minasian has done right in his tenure there, it is getting Zack Neto and getting him up to the majors as fast as they did. I don't necessarily agree with all the decisions that they make, but Zack Neto, fully deserving, and it was a great move. In terms of one of the most underrated players in baseball, I could buy that take. Offensively, he's having another great start to the year. Got an OPS at 855. He can hit for power. He's stealing bases. The one mark on his game is that he is striking out a lot. He doesn't get on base, and he doesn't play good defense. But I think that's also kind of why it allows him to be an underrated player, is because he's such an offensive first shortstop. I'm not going to buy the 5 to 7 range. I can't really think of that number right now off the top of my head. And I'm still probably going with Bobby Witt, Corey Seager, Francisco Lindor. Mookie is playing shortstop. Mookie is better than him. I'll still probably take CJ Abrams. I'll take Jeremy Pena right now. They're both playing pretty equally well, and Jeremy Pena is a lights-out defender. I think he's a top 10 guy. I mean, we're taking Gunnar Henderson too. Can't believe I almost forgot Gunnar and Ellie. And maybe that's me being a little bit of a hype beast, but those guys are still better. Zack Neto, though, is underrated because the shortstop position's so loaded. He doesn't get the shine and love he deserves, so I am buying that take. He's probably the most underrated player in baseball. Or maybe he's the most overrated if people are thinking he's in the 5 to 7 range. I don't know. You guys can argue in the comments. Theorpo says, Jose Altuve, despite the slow start, is still far and away the best second baseman in the American League. Ooh, I love Altuve. I love him, but I don't know if I buy that take. There's a couple guys having really good seasons this year. Altuve's numbers across the board are scary bad. The bat speed's at an all-time low. The expected numbers are at an all-time low. The barrel rates are at an all-time low. He's striking out, not that much still, but he's not getting on base really. Jose Altuve is kind of looking like a 35-year-old player who plays second base trying to learn left field because he can't really do the second base position anymore. I'm going to have to sell this one. He is definitely not the best second baseman in the American League anymore. And it pains me because I love Jose Altuve, and maybe he'll prove me wrong in the second half, but based on the underlying stats that we're seeing right now, I just don't think he's that guy anymore. Looking at the second base position, especially in the American League, Gleyber Torres is having a phenomenal year. He is playing much better than Jose Altuve. I'm not saying he's better, but he's playing a lot better. Brandon Lau has been awesome this year. I don't know if you guys have checked in on him, but he's been a beast at the plate. Jackson Holliday, low-key, been one of the better second basemen in Major League Baseball this season, and he's so young, and we had so much hype and talent built around him that maybe this is the year where you're like, oh, dang, he is that good player. Second base is a super weak position, but I will not definitively say that Jose Altuve is the best second baseman in the league anymore, so I'm going to sell it. Omni says Braves are going to enter a rebuild by the deadline. Whoa, that is a crazy hot take. At the time of recording this, the Braves are under 500. They're a few games back in the National League East in terms of the division. They're not in the playoff picture right now in terms of the wild card. They're on the outside looking in. It's May 29th. I don't think there's any time to panic yet, especially because the Braves have been playing better baseball. Ronald Acuna Jr. is back. Spencer Strider's back. They're getting some of their dudes back that are going to help them push forward. Was I concerned about the Braves coming into the year? Yes, I think I was kind of the only person that was talking about how this Braves team is not as guaranteed as people were making it out to seem. Do I think they should enter a rebuild? Absolutely not. This Braves team is way too good to be in a rebuilding phase. Do they have to reevaluate maybe some of the players and some of the ways that they operate this organization? I think for sure. They went into this offseason basically making no moves. They didn't get better. The one guy they signed took steroids. The Braves definitely had a horrendous offseason, and they're relying on major injury guys to come back and carry them. That's a dangerous formula. I've seen it too many times as a Mets fan, because that's what my team used to do. But Alex Anthopoulos has Greek witchcraft, and I'm sure at some point at the trade deadline, they'll get Jorge Soler back for free from the Angels. He'll go off. They'll end up trading for Charlie Morton from the Orioles. He'll end up being back to his dominant ways. The Braves will be completely fine. They are not going to enter a rebuild, so I'm selling. Noah Kraft says Aaron Judge hits 350 and breaks his 62 home run record. Yeah, I'm buying this. I'm willing to say that Aaron Judge might end up with one of the best seasons we've ever seen in Major League Baseball history this year. He is on pace to do crazy stuff we haven't seen since Barry Bonds when he hit 73 home runs in a year, which was still absolutely insane. Judge right now at the time of recording is hitting 391 with a 488 on base, 739 slugging, and a 1227 OPS for an OPS plus a 245, 18 homers through 55 games. That puts him roughly on pace for about 55 home runs this year. I think Aaron Judge is going to get, just going to sound crazy, hot with the power at some point and go have a month where he hits like 12 home runs, because that's what Aaron Judge does, and when it gets hot in New York, the ball's going to fly even more. He's having a legitimately unbelievably good season. I don't think it's underrated, but I think we are not talking about this enough. Like, remember when Luis Arias was sitting close to 400 last year for a little bit, and people were calling him the next Tony Gwynn, the greatest contact hitter, one of the best hitters in baseball? I know we just expect this from Aaron Judge, but what he's doing is truly incredible. The fact that he's hitting nearly 400 with this power, this OPS is unbelievably high. He is such a freak. I think we need to appreciate him more. It's incredible what Aaron Judge is doing. And this is coming from a guy who hates the Yankees with every ounce of his body. Can't hate Aaron Judge. Dude's an absolute dog. So yeah, I think he is going to hit over 350 this year, and I do think he's going to break the 62 home run record he set. Bye. Tommy Dub says James Wood will be top 10 MVP voting this year and go on to win at least one MVP. Well, you guys know I'm going to buy the go on to win at least one MVP for sure. I'm a huge James Wood fan. I have been since he was a draft prospect back in 2021. I couldn't believe he fell all the way to the Padres in the second round. And yeah, it's kind of happening for James Wood. 22 years old, 15 homers, 14 doubles, 40 RBIs, 8 stolen bases, 950 OPS, and OPS at 167. If he keeps up the pace that he's on, he is clearly, obviously going to be a top 10 MVP guy this year. And he is for sure going to win an MVP at some point in the future. Shohei Ohtani's going to have to get older at some point. He can't win the MVP every single year like he's a lock to this season. I see some people comment on the last few videos where like Mark's like a sneaky Nationals fan. He loves CJ Abrams. He loves James Wood. Reason being, they are some of the best young players in the league, and a guy like James Wood, who I've been a fan of for so long, as much as it pains me as a Mets fan because he's going to be just an absolute nightmare for years and years to come, I'm glad to see that this dude, who clearly from the start was going to be a great player, is living up to the hype. So yes, I buy this take. James Wood is awesome. Hunter says the Cubs are a closer and a starting pitcher away from world champions. I kind of do like this take a little bit here. This Cubs team we knew was going to be very good, especially with the addition of Kyle Tucker this offseason. The offense was going to be awesome. It's never really been a problem for the Cubs to score more runs. And right now, I think they statistically have the best lineup in all of Major League Baseball, better than the Dodgers, better than the Diamondbacks, better than the Yankees, better than the Mets, better than everybody. They're scoring an unbelievable amount of runs, and again, when it gets hot in Chicago, I'm assuming the runs are going to keep on going up. PCA being one of the best players in baseball, big reason why the Cubs have been great. Seiya Suzuki being one of the best hitters in baseball, major W. Kyle Tucker, freak, we knew that, awesome. Ian Happ has actually been disappointing this year, but it doesn't matter. Dansby Swanson's been good, Michael Busch has been good, Carson Kelly, their catching platoon's been amazing. Every single guy on this team is mashing at the plate. It's kind of crazy. Even Matt Shaw, who struggled, has been looking a lot better since the call-up. But of course, the pitching is where you mentioned they need some help. Losing Justin Steele for the year was devastating, and I don't know if Jameson Tyone is going to be consistent enough to be relied upon for big innings during the playoffs, they need to go out and get another guy, because really, it's Matt Boyd and Jameson Taillon holding down the fort right now with Shota also on the IL. So yes, they need a starting pitcher, maybe a Sandy Alcantara. He's been pitching poorly, but maybe getting him in a winning environment will help. And yes, they definitely need another bullpen arm, a real closer. Maybe you give the Baltimore Orioles a call, see what Felix Bautista is available for. I would imagine he's not untouchable, especially for a team that's playing pretty horribly. I'd give the Tampa Bay Rays a call, see what Pete Fairbanks is available for. Call up the Pirates, maybe a Dave Bednar. There are teams available that have closers or guys that at least could be high-leverage bullpen arms for them later on in the season. The Cubs are going to be aggressive this trade deadline. This offense is too good to waste with lackluster starting pitching and relief options. So I buy this take. They very well could be World Series champions if they address the pitching because the lineup's that good. Let's do a few more of these before we wrap this one up. Burner Bo says Juan Soto will be fine. And yes, of course he's going to be fine. We're buying this take. The only people talking about Juan Soto not being fine are Yankees fans. We know that's the thing. You had Michael Kay on his radio show spewing lies and nonsense. Also, fun fact, baited the shit out of him on the Mets Up podcast. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to hear his rant about what we said on my podcast. But it was amazing. I can't believe that happened. Thank you, Michael Kay, for that. The underlying numbers all look great for Juan Soto. He's still hitting the ball hard. He's just got to hit the ball in the air a little bit more, get comfortable. It's still 60 games into his Mets career. He's here for another 14 seasons. I am not worried in the slightest. And yes, Juan Soto will be just fine. Gonna buy it. He likes playing for the Mets. He's not worried about any of this stuff. He is frustrated. He looks angry. He looks sad because he's not playing to the Juan Soto standard. Imagine if you were one of the best players in baseball and all of a sudden you've had a 2-month stretch where you haven't been. Probably wouldn't be too smiley and happy as well. So everybody shut up. Juan Soto's gonna be just fine. Bye. Brighton Bobbitt says the San Francisco Giants are liars and cannot be trusted. Shout out to one of my first videos that people got really mad about on my channel. I don't remember the exact year, but it was when the Giants were kind of good at the deadline, but it was obvious that that team actually wasn't truthfully good. They were just kind of getting extremely lucky. And my take was that they should still be sellers. They should trade everybody. That included like Madison Bumgarner, Buster Posey, Brandon Crawford, all the old guys who were playing well at the time. I ended up being very right. I don't think the Giants made the playoffs that year. They didn't make any noise whatsoever. Do I think the 2025 San Francisco Giants are cut from the same cloth? Initially, no, I don't think so. I think Elliot Ramos is a very good baseball player, someone who can be a middle-of-the-lineup bat on this Giants team. Jung-Woo Lee, while he has calmed down and cooled off a little bit, is a very good player. Mikey Shremsky's always been underrated, on-base king, plays good defense, solid ball player. Wilmer Flores, good hitter. Matt Chapman, good baseball player. Willie Adames has played awful. I imagine he's going to bounce back because he's way too talented to be a 79 OPS plus guy. Where I do get worried on the pitching side, I don't know if they have the starting pitching right now. I just don't know if Robbie Ray can go out there every 5 days and continue to shove like he has at age 33 coming off of major injuries. Logan Webb's awesome. Landon Roop looks awesome. And the bullpen has been money. The bullpen legit looks really good. I can buy that. I think they need more starting pitching help. I think they need another bat. But I won't say that they're liars and they can't be trusted. I'm actually going to sell this take. I think the Giants are good. The National League's loaded. That's the biggest problem. Last one here from Aiden W23 says Royals get both Taylor Ward and Adolis Garcia at the trade deadline this year and win the division. No, I don't think so. I do think the Royals are actually going to go out and make some trades. They desperately need some hitting help. Like, their offense is so bad. You look at that lineup. I'm begging someone to help out Bobby Witt Jr. right now. Like, I know Maikel Garcia is playing really well, but those two guys can't be the only guys with a positive OPS plus on this entire team. Outfield-wise, like, Jonathan India has been terrible. Kyle Isbell's actually been better than usual, but still, you can't have a guy who's walked 3 times in 140 plate appearances. Hunter Renfroe got DFA'd. He's been putrid. Salvador Perez hasn't been hitting. Michael Massey's been really bad. Everybody's been bad on this team. They need outfield help. Taylor Ward would be a great pickup. Maybe you look to the Chicago White Sox. Maybe you check in on Luis Robert. Could the Royals be a sneaky team for that? Maybe you call up the Orioles. See if you could take Tyler O'Neill off their hands. I doubt you want to do that, but I'm just saying. The Marlins, Jesus Sanchez is playing pretty good baseball. I bet you the Marlins would consider moving him for the right package. Even a Dane Myers from that Marlins team, or someone who could play center field a little more consistently, or even be a good corner outfielder because they have a huge outfield out there. Call up the Rockies. See if they got anybody. Call up the Pirates. See if they want to move somebody. I know there's not a lot of great options here, but you definitely have a way to go and get a better player. I don't think it's going to be from the Rangers because I think they want to compete this year and think they have a shot. I don't think they'll trade out Elise, but yeah, Taylor Ward would be a great pickup for them. So I do buy the idea that the Royals make a move. I sell it's the players you say for. So there it is, buy or sell. Let me know what you guys think about these hot takes down in the comment section below. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on being involved in the next buy or sell, as well as follow me on my Twitter at GiraffeNeckMarc. Follow me on the rest of my social media. Links are in the description. Drop a like on the video. I don't know, this outro's kind of scuffed, so let's just end it here. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Bye.